TV channel. I'm Sulakshana Wagmare and today I'm going to take Science of 7th Standard from MSB, that is Maharashtra State Board. Today we will learn about the sound chapter, which is related to sound, and name of the chapter is Propagation of Sound. This is your 11th chapter. Now our next topic is noise pollution. Now you must have learned about noise pollution. Now, as I explained earlier, noise is actually the irregularity of sound frequencies and loudness. So it is harsh to hear. Now why we call it as noise pollution? Because there are various harsh effects on the health of human beings as well as on animals because of noise. If the noise extends some limit, means there is actually a unit to count the loudness of the sound. So if it extends some kind of limit, means it is very louder to hear, so that affects the human health and as well as the animal health. So that's why it is called noise pollution. The problem of noise pollution is becoming more serious every day. Now the intensity of sound we hear keeps increasing because of growth in industry, number of vehicles, their speed, and also the instrument that we are using at our homes like mixer, grinder, then washing machines, TVs, stereos, radios, etc. So these are the instruments which put their hand in noise pollution. So because of that, the noise in the society, in our area, and in our home also, it increases. So they have bad effects on our health. Just like if there is a heart patient, the heartbeat increases, the pupils of the eye gets bigger in size. There are so many other disadvantages of the noise also. It creates anxiety and it also affects on the mental health of the person. So we have to do some measure to decrease the noise pollution. So there are some zones which are declared as silence zone, where the noise is not allowed, and even government made some rules also. As you know, there are rules, following them means we should not create the noise or we should not play the loudspeaker and all after 10 o'clock in the night. So this reduces noise in the society. But we have so many festivals also on which we play loudspeaker, just like Ganeshotsav, then Navratri and all. So it creates much more noise in our society. So we should decrease, means we should do some measure from our side to decrease the noise pollution, so that it will not affect our human health as well as the animal health in our society. So we must be aware of noise produced in our society and we must try to decrease the noise pollution. Now we will summarize our chapter. So in this chapter, firstly we had seen that medium is necessary for the propagation of sound. Then we saw that sound travels fastest in solids, then less faster in liquids and faster in gases. Means sound travels slower in gases, than it travels little faster in liquids and more fastest in solids. So after that we had seen that sound have the lesser speed than that of light. Means sound have the speed about 340 meter per second, whereas light travels with the speed of 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Then we learned about echo. In this topic we seen that when sound get trapped by a flat surface or it just get bombarded on flat surface, it reflects back. So because of that we can hear the echo. In that we had seen the example of hill station. Then in this chapter we learn about the noise pollution also. In the noise pollution we see that the noise pollution is today's bigger problem, which causes a bad effect on human as well as animal health. Now we will see the question answers of this chapter from your exercise. Now first question is, which is answer the following question. In that, our first question is, give simple experiment to show that a medium is necessary for the propagation of sound. Now you remember this experiment, the experiment of round bottom conical flask. Now I will explain you this answer, means I will dictate you that answer point wise, and after that I will explain you. First point in the answer, take a round bottom flask, add some water to it. Second point is, take two hold rubber stopper and pass wire through one hole. Third point, now tie a small bell to one end of the wire, fit it on the stopper to the flask. The bell should hang inside the flask. Fourth point, take a hollow hang inside the flask. Fourth point, I will repeat, take a hollow glass tube and let it pass through the another hole on the rubber stopper. Fifth point, attach a piece of rubber tubing to its other end, which is on outside. Now fix a clamp over the rubber tubing and close it. Means here the clamp is actually the thread, or you can say it is a switch. Because of that you can open or close the rubber. Then next point, it is sixth point, shake the flask, the bell rings and it can be heard. Seventh point, now open the clamp and heat the flask till water inside the flask evaporates. So in this case you will heat the flask till all the water get converted into steam. Now let the steam pass out the flask by losing that clamp. Next point, it is eighth point, stop heating the flask and keep the rubber tubing closed with the help of clamp. Now let the flask cool. Now for quicker cooling you can pour water from outside the flask. Then next point, the steam inside the flask get condensed, means that steam which is hot inside the flask will get converted into water. Then next, again shake the flask, the ringing of the bell cannot be heard this time. Then 11th point, since the steam has condensed, there is no medium for the propagation of sound. Next point, 12th point, again open the clamp and let the outside air enter to the flask. Again shake the flask and sound of the bell can be heard this time. Since next point, because outside air enters into the flask, we can hear the sound of bells clearly. The last point, it is 14th point, this experiment shows us that medium is necessary for the propagation of sound. Now I will explain this answer to you. In the first case, there was air inside, so because of that we can hear the ringing of the bell. Then we heated the flask and we condensed it, means by pouring the water, the steam inside the flask get converted into liquid, that is water. So there is no air inside for the traveling of the sound. So in the second case, when we shake the flask, we can't hear the sound of the bells. So this experiment proves that in this experiment, air, or we can say the steam of water, was the medium for the traveling of the sound or for the propagation of the sound. When it is absent, we can't hear any kind of sound. Now our next question is, how is sound produced in drums? Now this particular topic we have learnt in the musical instruments of this chapter. Now I will dictate you the answer and after that I will explain you. Now we have to mention our answer point wise. Now my first point of answer is, the drum is a percussion instrument, means I will dictate the spelling of percussion. It is Percussion. So first point is, the drum is a percussion instrument. Second, a stretchable membrane is tied very lightly cover it. Third point, the tension in the membrane can be changed by tightening the screw which are around the drum. Fourth point, if the membrane is struck, this membrane produces the sound. Last point, it is fifth point, by changing the tension, the frequencies of the sound can be obtained. So this was your answer. In this we had explained, we have the stretch membrane on the drum. We can adjust the frequency by adjusting the tension in the membrane. If we are stretching that membrane, that means we are applying tension. So by tightening or loosening, we will increase or decrease the tension of the membrane, and we will struck it. So according to tension in that particular membrane, sound will be of different frequencies. So in that way, sound is produced in the drums. Now our next question is, what is noise? If you remember, this particular answer I have already explained in the topic of noise pollution and in the comparison of noise and music. So I will dictate you the answer. First point, noise is an unwanted sound. Firstly, we don't want to listen the noise, so it is unwanted sound. Second, its frequency change constantly, loudness changes irregularly. And third point, people are not able to follow anything if there is noise around. Now I will explain you each point. First point was, noise is unwanted sound. Means it is very harsh to hear, that we don't want to listen that sound, so it is unwanted sound. Second, its frequency changes constantly, loudness changes irregularly. Means frequency means we can say the speed of sound. For example, if I will explain this answer very fastly, you will not able to understand. That means frequency will be changed or frequency will be faster. And loudness means, as you know, it is louder or less louder sound. So frequency changes constantly and loudness changes irregularly. Sometimes it will be louder, sometimes it will be softer and all. Then third point, people are not able to follow anything. The example was given in this chapter for this particular explanation. If you remember, I had given you example of children which are sitting in a class. If all will talk to each other, the teacher coming there will not able to understand anything. So this is the example of noise pollution. Now we will move toward our next question.
Choose the right kindergarten, a right bag, and matching bottle to go with. The right school, the right friends. Choose the right subjects and score well. Be an expert in all. The right teacher, and make sure that they like you. Choose the right timing, the right bus, and take a cab if getting late. The right train, and don't stand near the gates. Mind the pockets. Better get into ladies' compartment. Make sure your mustache hasn't started coming. Choose the right study time and forget games, IPL, IHL, rock and metal, guitar, axe. The right group and be a model to your brother. Seriously. Choose the right syllabus, the right test paper. Keep guessing questions for exams. Choose the right branch, the right college, the right stream. Choose the right career. Lucky to have a father's business to take care of and a father to allow that. The right counselor, the right form, and make sure the project is submitted on time. Choose the right website and rely on your friends for more information. Oblivious of the sites they have been to, there is no end to your woes. Getting better with every step you climb up the ladder. The summer vacation shorter, the bucket list bigger. The night darker, the books heavier. The only light you have is your friends ahead of you. Probably he is right. Ever thought how he got the direction? No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes. No more missing classes for rain, rally, and nonsense. Get your interest back in subjects through our creative ways of teaching. Doubts, concepts, applications, all explained through one vibrant animation. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Special programs only for basic foundation and paper analysis. Personality development, career counseling, admissions, hobbies, all covered. A new approach to study with long-term perspective. So sit back comfortably in your homes and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
Next question is give reasons. In that, our first question is a tabla player tightens or loosens the bands tying down the membrane. Now, if you remember, this is similar question to the question that how drums are played or how sound is produced in the drums. So now we will see the answer. I will dictate you and then I will explain you. So first point will be tabla is percussion instrument. Second, on the top of tabla there is a stretch membrane tied very lightly. Third point is here, the membrane in the tabla instrument means the tension in the membrane in the tabla instrument can be changed by tightening or loosening the keys which are around the tabla. If the membrane is struck, the tensed membrane produces good sound. Next point, by changing the tension, desired frequency of the sound can be obtained. The next point, we must adjust the frequency of the sound of a tabla player. Means to adjust the frequency of the tabla, the player tightens or loosens the bands tying down the membrane. Now I will explain you the answer. Firstly, it is percussion instrument. That means a sound is produced by the striking the membrane. Then the membrane on the tabla is tightened very loosely and the tabla have keys around it, so that by tightening or loosening the membrane can be tightened or loosened. So when we struck the tabla membrane, we hear the sound, means sound is produced. So according to tightening or loosening, different frequencies of sounds are produced, and according to that frequencies we can create a music of different loudness or different frequencies. So that's why to have a music of different frequencies or to have a music of good quality, the tabla player loosens or tightens the tension in the membrane by those particular keys. Now here we have our next question. We hear thunder long after we have seen the flash of lightning. Now, if you remember, I had given this example and I had explained you also. As you know, sound travels slower than that of light. Means sound has slower, means lesser frequency than the light. Sound has 340 meter per second speed and light has the 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second speed. So now here I will dictate you the answer. First point, speed of light is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, whereas sound travels with the speed of 340 meter per second. Second point, this means that light travels a speed which is about 10 raised to 6 times or a million times that of sound. Means light travels million times faster than sound. Next point, therefore, though thunder and lightning occur at the same time, the flash of lightning reaches the earth, that means we can say reaches to us very firstly, and then we hear the sound of a thunder. Hence, we hear a thunder long after we have seen the flash of lightning, which is seen instantaneously, means we can see the lights faster. So this was your answer. Now our next question is, a surface is necessary for an echo to be heard. Now if you remember, in this particular section I had given you the example of hill station, that you are standing on a mountain and making a means you are shouting. So after some time you hear that same shouting again and again. Now let us discuss this answer. I will dictate you first. First point, for an echo to be heard, the sound should be reflected back from some surface. Second, at mountain tops or at echo points, the echo is heard only after if it is reflected from some opposite mountain. Third point, in an echo, the sound is reflected from a flat surface and travels back in the direction from which it came. Last point, therefore, a surface is necessary for an echo to be heard. Now, this is very simple answer. It is very simple. If sound is producing from me, let's see, it is producing from me, so it will go forward. If there is a straight surface, it will get bombarded on that surface. That means it will strike to that surface and it will get reflected back towards me, and I will hear echo of my own voice. So that's why the flat surface is necessary. Now we will see fill in the blanks from your textbook. Now first fill in the blank is, a fluist can place fingers on the proper holes and produce vibration of the dash. Now here, as you know, fluid has air inside, so it is means sound in the fluid is produced due to vibration of that air column. So here your answer is air column. So you will write the full sentence, you will write answer air column and you will underline it in your notebook or in the examination. So this was your proper answer. Now second fill up is, sound is heard more clearly dash as compared to air. Means here there are two mediums, one is air and another that we have to mention. So as you know, air is gas, so gaseous medium is compared with liquid medium obviously. So here the liquid medium is water. So your answer is through water. So I will repeat this, sound is heard more clearly through water as compared to air. So underline through water. Then third fill up is, in drums dash vibrates to produce sound. So this is also given in the textbook, same sentence. So as you know, drums have a membrane. If we struck that membrane, we can hear the sound. So here your answer is membrane. So full sentence is, in drums membrane vibrates to produce sound. You will underline the answer membrane. Now next fill up is, the speed of light is dash times that of sound. So it is million times. So 10 raised to 6, or you can mention a million. So you will underline that 10 raised to 6 or a million. Then last fill up is, when temperature increases, the speed of the sound also increases. Increases your answer. So these are the fill in the blanks. You have to write the full sentence in the fill in the blanks, and for that particular fill up you can box that or you can underline that also. So in this way you will write your all question answers in your notebook properly and in your examination also. So this chapter is over here.